to the Laker family. I want to first congratulate LeBron James for passing the one and only Kobe Bean Bryant in the scoring records. He moved third all time on the scoring list. So kudos to LeBron, and we appreciate you as fans, as Laker fans, and hopefully this brings some type of peace between so-called Kobe fans and LeBron fans. And Kobe tweeted and congratulated him. Magic Johnson also did the same, and it was a great special moment to see him do that in a Lakers uniform. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the stuff y'all really want to hear about, what went on in this game between the Lakers and the 76ers. It was a lot of bad in this game. It seemed that we came out very flat, and it seemed like we had no sense of urgency. We looked lost. I'm trying to find words to describe how poorly it began. Like, it seemed like we approached this game as Embiid is not, Embiid is out, Richardson is out, so let's just play down to the competition. We'll get in here and get away with some type of narrow victory, and call it a day. That's not the effort that I wanted to see from my Lakers. The 76ers are still a good team regardless of if Embiid is playing or not. In fact, they've looked slightly better with him off the floor. I don't know what the Sixers head coach have to do to make that work when Ben Simmons and Embiid is in there together, but they look a little bit better without Embiid in there and Simmons being the sole superstar. And he looked good tonight. He slightly outplayed LeBron, only because he was more consistent throughout this whole game. And for him to dominate a game in this fashion, to where he don't even need to pull a three-point shot, it was amazing. And I have to give kudos and props where it's due. So you can't hate on the guy. He came in and he outplayed our star. And LeBron didn't have a bad game, but it just wasn't good enough up to his normal standards. He settled a lot for three-point shots, and the Sixers were willing to give that up. That's fine if he's on some type of roll from three-point range. I don't mind him taking them here and there, but when the game is kind of getting away, or we need to try to make some type of comeback, I don't want to see him hoisting up consecutive threes especially when you have smaller people guarding you. He even had Ben Simmons. He was bouncing Ben Simmons back like a rag doll, and instead of going up and for a dunk or a layup, he deferred and passed the ball out to a Rondo at the three-point line, and of course Rondo bricked it. Stuff like that, I always praise LeBron James for his high IQ, but moments like that were low IQ and just not playing like himself. He had 8 turnovers. That's very uncharacteristic of him. Playing this point guard role this year, I haven't seen a lot of games like that where he just carelessly throws the ball away. And then there were a crucial points of the game too, where we were either on a run, getting close, had an opportunity to tie the game, something like that, and then out of the blue, it would just be a careless turnover. And the 76ers didn't play around with us. They were looking younger, which they are, but we looked inexperienced. They looked like the experienced team. And we're the ones supposed to look more experienced with the veterans that we had. They look not only more youthful and faster, they look more experienced. on the floor tonight. They took smart shots. They were patient. They waited for their offense to develop, and they also looked better coached tonight. I can't knock Frank Vogel too bad because he's been terrific all year, but this game he got out coached. There were times, every time we would make a run, Brett Brown called a timeout, got his team focused, and they would come out and go like on an 8-0, 10-0 run. It was like every single time. So I know a lot of Philly fans are up and down with Brett Brown, but to me, he's a decent head coach. And he gets bashed a lot, but tonight he did his job coaching. I felt like he did. It wasn't as embarrassing as the Celtics loss, but it was almost getting into that ballpark. I don't know what it is. It's like either we're too overconfident, cocky, and we keep getting these wake up calls, or we are seriously flawed. And every team in the league has flaws, no doubt. But what I'm seeing against these better teams does raise some red flags. We get up and down, rah-rah, when we beat these subpar teams like the Knicks, the Nets, Pistons, whoever. And we kind of get a little bit confident. And we tend to overlook the flaws when we're beating these lower teams. And then once we get to these top tier teams like this and we get bashed over the head, then everybody's back talking about trade this person, trade that, trade this, trade that. When every team in the league has gone through their ups and downs, every team. And we still are the number one team in the Western Conference. So it's not time to just trade the form because no team is perfect. Every team this season is far from perfect. We don't have any Golden State Warriors of the past 4 or 5 years this year. Everybody is pretty much got a chance, I would say, from the top 8 teams on up. Everybody has a legit shot. Whether the ball falls their way, they have a shot of winning a title this year. I still believe we are a top 3 team in this league, but I feel like our flaw is, I'm sad to say this, but I feel like our flaw is we're too soft. And that's concerning. We're too soft. Teams are taking us out to the backwood and just beating us, just beating us down, And I think it was Max or Stephen A. I think it was Stephen A. that said something along those lines. He mentioned the Clippers feel like they got more dogs than we do, and they feel like no, we don't have anybody to completely stop Anthony Davis, but we have the dogs that maybe if you give him a little bit of this, a little bit of that, in the post, beat him up enough, then he'll fold. And come fourth quarter, then Anthony Davis might try to shy away from contact or trying to do work in the post. And another trend that I'm noticing is Anthony Davis has these hot starts, and then come fourth quarter, whether it's the team not looking for him or maybe the moment is too big for him and maybe he's looking for LeBron to do it all. But whatever reason, he's not as productive in these fourth quarters as he should be. I promise you, if we gave him his due touches and get out the way, let him go to work this fourth quarter, this will be a much more closer game than this, which it still ended up getting close. I think I want to say around the 5-minute mark. Caruso was playing hella defense. I think he had like 6 or 7 steals in this game. Yeah, Caruso 6 steals. He played great defensively. he helped get us back into this game. He got a couple of loose balls and threw it to LeBron. LeBron had some crazy highlight dunks back to back. That one where he cocked it back, I haven't seen him that athletically go for a dunk in 2 years. So that was amazing to see that he still had that in his bag. But right after that, Brett Brown said, nope, timeout. He gathered his troops, and it was all she wrote after that. It was all she wrote. They went on a huge run after that, and it was like we couldn't buy a bucket, game over. Very disappointing, extremely disappointing, to say the least. I can go down the list, man. Anthony Davis, like I said, probably was the best player for us on the floor tonight. He went to work on Horford, but he was a non-factor in the fourth quarter. So that was the area of where he failed this game. LeBron James, 29 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 8 turnovers is where he failed this game. And not taking advantage of the mismatches inside, and instead of settling for outside or 3-point shots. Ben Simmons was taking it in. You can't hold me. He was just shredding Danny Green off of him like nothing. Like, get off me, peasant. That's how it was. And it was at some point you do something to deter him from driving in like that. And they had shooters helping him out as well, like Korkmaz and Nito and Tobias. They were knocking shots. They're not a great outside shooting team either, but they came together this game and were knocking down some big time outside shots to help Ben Simmons out. Where our bench and our role players were not knocking down their 3-point shots to help LeBron James out. So when they become cold, you got to stop depending on them at some point, LeBron. You got to channel that Mamba mentality. Fun I'm bringing up Kobe on the same game he passed him, but at some point you got to know when to bring that Mamba mentality into play and just destroy anybody. Basically, at least 3 or 4 guys on their court that the Sixers put out there are going to be smaller than you, especially when Horford is out of the game. Everybody else is going to be smaller than you. Play inside out. Don't let the 76ers off the hook like that. Dwight Howard, 2 points, only 16 minutes because he couldn't make his free throw shots. We needed Howard in a big way tonight, especially on the glass, because we were getting beat up on the glass. They owned us 41-35, something like that on the glass. They got 8 offensive rebounds to our 6. So that was another major key. The Sixers were able to keep fouling Dwight because he wasn't even making 1 free throw. If you split a pair at least, then they would maybe back off from playing that hack of Dwight. But you let the 76ers win that battle because you couldn't even split 1 free throw. So we had to go small, or we either had to play LeBron James at the 5 sometimes because of that to give Anthony Davis rest, because you can't play Anthony Davis all game. And obviously JaVale McGee's out, so we're thin now at their position. So Dwight, we need you to start making those free throws, because if not, it's a copycat league. Other teams are going to start doing the same thing the 76ers just did. Bradley has not been the same player since his injury. I've been giving him time to get adjusted back into form, but he simply has not been the Avery Bradley that started the season off. He started off the season scoring. He was scoring well in the 15-point range, and then he was giving us lockdown defense. But now he's not even giving us offense, and then he's playing too aggressive sometimes, and he's getting caught with these fouls, and we have to yank him. So he's not. He becomes a non-factor. When you put yourself in foul trouble, you're no use to the team. So my advice to Bradley is to not play too aggressive, especially in today's game. You have to be smarter than that. Danny Green, only 2 points. 0 for 5 from three-point range, a non-factor. And that goes back to what I was saying about LeBron. You have to know these things when these guys, you have to feel it when your team that just don't have it on the road against another great team. You can't rely on them. You have to go. You have to pull out all your stops on the scoring aspect. Kyle Kuzma, major disappointment. I don't blame fans that want to trade Kyle Kuzma. You're entitled to feeling that way. And I told y'all I'm very disappointed in the season that he's having as well. I wouldn't trade him. But I don't blame people that feel differently about that. You're not wrong if you feel that way. I felt y'all were wrong last year about wanting to trade Brandon Ingram, especially the either LeBron fans or whether it was kids that were not really knowledgeable of the game, what have you. They were all saying trade Ingram over Kuzma, ignorantly. And we ended up trading Ingram, and now we're left with Kuzma, and now those same people are bashing Kuzma over the head. Granted, some of it is deserved, but I've never seen a player average 19 points 1 year, and then the next year plays this poorly and this inconsistent. If you didn't know Kyle Kuzma before this year, you would say that's a G leaguer, or that guy is not a starter. That guy shouldn't even be mentioned as a third option. You would say that if Kyle Kuzma if he didn't have the Kuzma on his back, and if you didn't know him from the 2 years prior. It's very disappointing of a season for Kyle Kuzma up to this point. And I thought by now he would have found some type of rhythm, some type of cohesion to some degree with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and it just not has been the case. He may be a player that needs his own team, and that where he can just get the green light and just jack up how many shots he wants to. James Harden, although he was good, he was not the player that he is now with the Houston Rockets. Once he got freedom and got his own team, people were shocked at how great of a player he became. And nobody expected that type of James Harden. People will be lying to you if they saw that James Harden coming from the one that was with the Thunder, and the one that choked in the finals and was like a no-show in the finals against LeBron's Heat. Kyle Kuzma might be in the same situation where he just no use to the Lakers. He may be better used to being on another team, having his own role. And I hate to say that because we need a third option, and we thought it would be him. We need a third option, which was evident in this game right here. You got Davis with 31, LeBron with 29, everybody else with 4 points, 2 points. 7 with Caldwell Pope, 7 with Bradley, but no other person in double figures. The 76ers got their trio with in double figures, and I told y'all at the end of my last video, I said Horford had been struggling to fit in with the Sixers all year, but I said watch him have a good game against us, and he had a better than a decent game today. 16 points. He knocked down some clutch shots at the end too, and it always happens. It never seems to fail. A person that the Tatums of the world who was struggling before they played us, and it seems like every person that struggles, they always have these fantastic games once they get to us, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't go into the Sixers home arena, and they are a good defensive team. They like to play big and they like to play gritty, so they want to make it a sloppy game for you. You can't go in there with that soft, showtime, flashy. You can't go in there with that. You have to man up against teams like that, and that's why I say I think our biggest flaw is we're soft. We can't beat the Clippers like this, playing soft. And not only that, another flaw we have is people are starting to spread us out defensively. Because we are the #1 team in blocking shots. Teams are getting smarter now. They're spreading us out. They're putting lineups of shooters out and running pick and rolls, and we're left scrambling. And especially when we have Dwight or JaVale McGee on the floor, they're left trying to scramble as well to get to these outside three-point shooters to contain a quicker point guard, and we're getting exposed. Teams are noticing how to attack us now, and then run zones as well. And I was so giddy about us shooting 50% versus the Nets, but I didn't expect us to keep shooting that well. But I didn't expect us to turn around and shoot 20% from the three-point line this game. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Caldwell Pope hit some clutch buckets, to get us back, within three, along with LeBron James, with those fast break dunks, Caruso getting us steals, and it should have never got to that point to where we had to be climbing back from a 20-point lead. It took so much out of us to climb back into the game, and once Brett Brown called that timeout, it was like that was it. We were gassed. We were gassed because we let this younger team run all over the floor on us, led by Ben Simmons. He played a masterful game today. I got to give him credit where credit is due. Tobias Harris chipped in as well. Tobias Harris did for them what Kyle Kuzma was supposed to do for us, and it's embarrassing. So I rambled on enough, man. I can't keep this video too long because I'm upset and just trying not to get ugly. I want to contain my composure about this. So I don't know, man. There you have it. There's our flaws. Whether we fix it or not, that's up to the coaching staff and the general manager. Whether or not we need to go ahead and get Iguodala, but Memphis is still playing hardball with him, so I don't. That's up there. I don't know. We need Iguodala. Find some way to make it happen, man. Find some way to make it happen, Rob Pelinka. But that's all I have for today, guys. Thank y'all for watching. If y'all have not subscribed yet, I know y'all enjoying this exciting, great analysis, free analysis. So if it's free, why not go ahead and support your boy? Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all next time. Peace.